I put down my glasses. For what bed do we jump from? From where do we jump from? Irrelevant to the place we begin. What is our aim? What is our goal? Where are we going into the future? To jump, to leap forwards, to leap sideways. Just the action of the leap. Wherever you end up, you have gone somewhere. Because if you are leaping, you have gone up. Wherever you land, well, that is the different story on how you created, from which way you and where you leap from and where you are leaping to. Do you have any directive in your leap? Or have we all become leapfrogs watching the news and not watching the truth? Has my mind been deterred by watching InfoWars? By seeing David Icke? By thinking that the guy from InfoWars is somebody else? For everybody, for some reason, trying to trap somebody else. Who's actually knowing the truth? And who is passing on broken telephone? Who is just joining in, not actually knowing the truth? Well, my friends, it has come to a time, and the time is now. This day today is not like any other day, nor will it ever be like any other day. For the hour, regardless of the time of where you are in the world, for the time you watch the video. I partake in the time that I am creating this video, that I have begun at 5:21. It is the 11th day of the 4th month of 2012. It is 10 days after April 1st. We are at the 102nd day of the year. I hope to hell I'm not wrong, because otherwise this story will be told tomorrow, although most will be watching this months and months after, other than those who have found me first. Thank you very much, guys. You give me the encouragement to keep on moving, to be on moving on in all directions. As you go forward from one, you cause the angle in the complete opposite direction to exist. Even if you do not know what it is, she ate the forbidden fruit, opening up the back angle to every move you make, showing the reason for every you make is good, and this is the evil. Thus is to Eve of eating the fruit. For those yous who have not known or understood anything from Adam and Eve, anything from the time of Noah, the 9 lives of the cat, the relationship to why it rains cats and dogs. For anybody that is out there that does not know who I am by now, you, my friends, will know in the future. To all those who know me, I will bring it back to the beginning, to when I said I had no money to write a book. I didn't know how to write a book. But I certainly knew there was a chance I can tell a story, just to believe, and when you believe, what you tell is your truth. And when you believe highly in your truth, it is so easy to get into it. It's almost like playing baseball, and you know you need to hit the ball to get to a base, or let it go by until you get 4 balls and you get a freebie. Thank God for the freebie in life, eh? Don't forget, man is 5, but at home plate, he's only 1 to both teams. So if we multiply the man by 5 times the 4 balls for getting a freebie, that makes 20, gets him into the beta world. And if you're starting at Go in Monopoly, you get all the way to free parking, and you get a minimum of $500. Okay, if you brought it to the roulette wheel, it's connected to number 17, and therefore there are 3 lines, and it is in the middle. They are both black and connect. It equals to 37. 2 37s cause it to be Christ, 74. But 3 37s total to 111. 111, my friends. It is the 100% of 1, and the spirit, angel, and man that is within that 1 that makes it the 111. And the actual 111 and the point decimal that will never, ever show up. And the reason for that I will tell you now. If man is 9 birth, he is 90 in life. Therefore, 10 more percent, if you added 10%, not 10%, but 90 plus 10 in the percentage range equals to 100. But 90 plus 10% of 90, is that our brain? 10% of 90 would only give us 99. So 11% of 90, let me look that up. Don't want to make a mistake here. 11% of 90, 90, let's say, can I do it this way, times 111 equals, no, that's not right. It would be 90% times 1, 1, 1. Wouldn't it be that? Right. And it comes out to 99, 90. And if you flip it around, it's 666. 0, 666. And the reason it is 0, and you do not have the 4 6s, for those of you who are with me that know that I'm writing a book, at the same time I've had these revelations, and this is when I began to come on here and do it, because there were way too many things that I knew in my mind that some sort of truth. I'll let you decide whether or not you believe in what I have to say. These are my stories. They're true stories. They're true beliefs. They come from my mind to you. This is not a fable made up, just designed to sell and make money. Because even the people in Hollywood that do these things, their movies are so good, they're into that other world. They're where I am. So the reason why you don't get 4 6s is because in either case, okay, you know when you're moving around the squares and you got 4 of them, you got to leave an empty space. You leave the empty space because in this world, the 10-10 world, okay, of the 10-10-10 world, which is 100, okay. So what happens is the 0 is actually talking about the 666, because the 0 is the whole of the 666. You see there's sometimes a line in the calculator that divides the 0, but it's backwards towards the queen, because it's a division of alpha and beta together in 1 in the formation of the world of angel, man, and spirit. 666. Because why? Because they all partake in the man's number. If the spirit was talking, it would say 111. If beta was talking, it would say 222. But we're talking about man. So the danger in man is it's 666. Because at 2222, it's completely different. They're your life. It's only talking about your life. And the 2 beta world is the beta world that's created, and it doesn't die. It's always there. It's the creation within the beta world. And that's what brought me to, I picked up a few things on the way to the store, and I'm going to try and see if I can design this for you. By the way, for those of you who know me for the first time today, do I know it all? I certainly do. Because you might hear this in another video and you're going to get upset. And I'm going to explain to you how I know it all. And I'm going to explain to you in a fashion that it will be fair to you, that you can figure out upon yourself. And you're going to say, yes, he knows it all. And this is how I know it all. I know what I know. You know what you know. What I don't know of you know, I don't know it all. But what I know of I know it all. And that, my friend, I would like an answer. Is it possible I can know it all? That's the only thing I don't know, is what your answer is, what you're going to write to me down at the bottom. And if you click a comment, I'm not going to know who you are, so we can go around and joke together. I am still in the early picture and design of this book video that I created, and I have the minimum number of everything just about. So it's so far up to date. This complete bonanza of MrTacpans 7286 is going exactly like his life. It's moving sort of very slowly and up. But you know what? Within design of correction, the slower it goes on the up, regardless of how deep it falls down, you can easily find and repair an area. But if you have suddenly gone suddenly up, then you would be chomped, and automatically at any and all results that come in, you will slide. That's it. It's not me who made the system. It's just a system. If you want to really hear of somebody who can tell you about numbers and stuff, more about the system, go see Ron Paul and Barack Obama. Barack Obama, okay, he has a technique. Everything he has done since day one, he has not been able to not have one item. Now, again, I know it all. Because Ron Paul has munched every one of his tactics. So again, what I know is what I've heard from others of what they've done, of what I base on what I think, and I judge, because 85,000 people say Ron Paul and 8,000 say Barack Obama. Unless it's hardcore like I have in my family, I say Ron Paul, they go Barack and you're an idiot. I don't go they go Ron Paul and you're an idiot, right? So I don't call them an idiot. Don't you see how it works? Ron Paul in greatness, while everybody I take Ron Paul and they're with Barack Obama, they call me an idiot. But to the people I go to Ron Paul, where the people say Ron Paul and I go to people, no, I think it's Barack, they don't say I'm an idiot. They try to explain it to me. But most of us don't want to know. What, are we afraid? Are we afraid? Are there any of you that are new out there that are seeing these videos for the first time? What the hell does this kid know? I look pretty good for 50, eh? Oh, I love me so much. I trim my hair. I cut my hair. I love me. They'll probably say it's a bipolar, probably schizophrenic. I probably can't control myself, so I'm just saying any words that just come to the top of my mind. Just like every schizophrenic, bipolar, psychotic person can actually talk as well and describe and liberate different visions. Is that what? So we're all like that. All the bipolars are like that, right? We're as good as I am. So this whole world, automatically, there's like 6% of people with psychotic tendencies in America. So that means would be 6% more for Ron Paul. Is that correct? And thus and therefore, half the army comes back and they're all fucked up in the head. So they'd be all for Ron Paul too. So good, and their wives would be for Ron Paul, and their friends would be for Ron Paul. So therefore, we're up to like 25% of the people just being for Ron Paul because they sort of got a little bit of different taste in their mouth. The more people you send to war, the more people that want to come home and stop the war. Don't you know that? You can't win with money. It doesn't work. Money must be shared, the only way. Just like liberty must be understood and shared, because we don't want to see anybody in another country. I don't want to see anybody in another country being enslaved to the government. The government is the people. We are the government. There should not be, just like Ron Paul says, this, my friend, I am a numerologist, not, and like I told you, by the dream of my night, by the revelation of the day, by entering into a world most of you cannot enter because I am bipolar. And I have let myself and learned from myself in those stages, taking advantage of the high and not just going high and going out and doing all kinds of crazy things, but sitting down in front of my books and dictating everything that I can vision. And since I was into it, I can ask myself now real questions that normally, instead of it taking advantage of me, I'm taking advantage of it. The it everybody can't find out is. It and is, my friends, is Area 51. That's you. Do you know why it and is you? Because that's what it is. It's all about this and that. Do you think I'm just fooling around with you at it and is? Do you want me to explain to you it and is? First of all, it, if you want to take it, depending in which way, because there's many ways to do this with numbers. Okay, but we have to use the two numbers the same way. Otherwise, we'd have two different equations, and they really can be compared, but it's hard to say they're opposites, but they're only two. So just like on the two dice, you can turn it around and around and around. That's what happens when there's two of them. They're always the opposite of each other, regardless of how close they are. Okay? Just like an arrow points only in one direction, well, no matter how you move, you're pointing at each other. It, okay, the T is the 20th letter. Okay? The I is the 9th letter. So we're going to go like this, 920. Okay, that's one way to look at it. Now, I've never done it that way before, and now I'm really interested. T and I, 20 and 9. 920. Oh, my God, that's insane. Oh, my God. You bring that to a 1010. We're going to start from the beginning because this is also new for me right now. This is so exciting. I learn all the time. Oh, my God. Did I ever finish with that 0666 just a few minutes ago? And I'll get back to this if I don't forget like I usually do. So then no matter what, you always got to watch my videos because it seems like I fill in one gap in this video, what I seem to have forgotten in the last video, and I had no idea it came about between me and my mind. So anyways, the 0666 is the 0 is the world you're in, okay? Which world are you in, okay? And the 0 world, the world of love, means the connecting world within one alpha omega, the split egg. Don't forget, the O is the 15th letter. The design of the O as the 0 is the same shape as the design of each letter put inside the egg of a roulette wheel. So there's so many ways to twist, tie, and turn this thing around. You know what I'm saying? So what you can do at 666 is go 6 times 6 times 6 is actually, okay, 36, which is creation. And what is creation? Creation is 216. And what it means by 216 is that while you're in this world in a 10-day period, because everything is X in this world, okay, X plus 1, X minus 1, 9, 11, that's what it says. X minus 1 is 9. X plus 1 is 11, 9, 11. So everything is X in this world. No, I forgot what I was talking about. I'm not very happy. So let me see if I can go back to what everything is X in this world. X, Y, O, the oxen, the bulls. Wow, what was I on? Everything is X in this world. Yeah, so the 0 would be alpha omega. And what actually alpha omega means, it's a count for eternity. And the reason it's a count for eternity is that what happens is when you start at 0 and your death put you back at the beginning before you were started, you weren't here, you are now at the connection between 0 and 0 of 1 and 01, 101. So now you're in the eternal section, okay, whether in the start position or the finish position, or you're on the line that designs the image. Because everybody thinks when they see the design of a character that the character is the shape. But don't forget, the shape comes from within the lines that are written. So it's within those lines, okay? As you see the darkness in the back, it's from in that darkness that is within the light. Okay, anyways, then we're going to go on to what I said is IT, which is 9 and 20, or 920, 1840, 36. Wait a second. I remember what I was talking about. Yes, 36 by 6 by 6. Sorry, I don't want to forget this. Oh, it's very good. I like what I'm getting to. Equals 216. Now, 216 is a 10-day period in which you spend 3, 3, and 3 days, okay, of your own, in which one complete 24 hours lies upon God, okay? One of the reasons is that it's 10 days, 240 hours, 24 hours to God, 216 hours to man, okay? Now, the second step, I hope I don't forget, okay, is that within each 3-day period, you must sleep 8 hours a night. 8 is 24, and you are awake 48 hours. Okay? So now, when you are awake 48 hours and you are asleep 24, that is another 24 hours for God. And you're awake of 48, which are the 12 tribes because of this 12 points on a dice cube, on the 2 dice cube, or whatever it is. 2, 4, 4, and 8, right. 4 and 8. 4 of man, because man's roof is his feet on the ground. So that's why he has 4. He still has 4 above, but that's the ceiling, and he doesn't fly like an eagle. That's why all the animals are different. So, where am I now? So I was with 6, fly like an eagle, 666, 216 hours. So it's 48 for the first 3 days. And then, while we have 48, we now have 48, 48. Actually, it's a tie, which totals 96, which represents the sign of Cancer. Why do these two represent? Because we're totalitine the 4 balls and the 3 strikes in this scenario or situation. And what I mean is that it's automatic that we're going to sleep, and we're going to give all those to God because we're not really in control of our dreams, or are you, in some of us, but even if you are, there's an interior reason for it. Okay, so now we got 48, 48, and that consists of the 96. Unless you wanted to go to the opposite way in which I said and take the 48, first 3 days of 16 hours, and go to the next 3 days of 16 hours. Now you got 96 against 24 to God, or if you add into God now, you now have 2 more 24s, because during the second period of 3 days, okay, is 8 hours of sleep, sleep, sleep. So now you have 96 hours, and you either have 24 plus 48 to sleep. 48 and 24 are now 72. You now have 96 hours awake and 72 asleep. Now you go to the next one, the next 3 days. 48 awake, 24 asleep. There's your 24 for God. The total numbers of hours of sleep plus the 24 hours of God that he gets on his Saturday or his Sunday comes to the count of 24, 24, 24, 72, plus the 24 of God. God retains the number 96. Man's number, man's sign, Cancer. That's what God retains. And what does man get back with by being awake in this life? He's awake with 48, 48, and 48. 120, 130, 140. Hold on a second. Excuse me, sorry, I got it wrong. 48 plus 48 is 96, equals to 144 over 96, totaling 240 hours over a period of 10 days. The 144 hours awake is 144,000 midway angels that continuously march up and down between this world and your high and low blood pressure. The reasons it's 144,000 is because man, angel, and spirit partake in the number 144, because those are the hours for the number partaking of man. You therefore get 144 hours awake with 72 asleep is 216, plus the 24 hours of God. So you now have 144 over 96. Now, whichever way that equation comes out to be, we'll multiply it or add it together in simple math. 144 is 9. We can add that on to saying it's the birth. And what do we do with the next one, which is 96? 9 and 6 is 15. 15th letter is the egg. So we have the birth and the egg out of the first initial view and numerology of what this is. Now what we do is we take the egg and we add it together. 1 plus 5, because it was the 15th letter, is 1, 5 is the 15th letter, and you got 6. Now you got F. You have an F. You have an O. O is the first letter. You have F-O. Right away, without even knowing the other letter, it's a mistake. Because in French, faux is a mistake. Faux is someone against you. Faux is an error. Now let me see and partake again within the numbers of the realm of my mind as I envision right now, as I try to take a vision upon what I see, and what I see I do not see. Give me 1 minute and let me find from within my own mind what I can take out. We were talking about the man, the egg, it came the F. What letter did we have? Oh, we had the 9. We had the I. So now we have F-I-O, Theo. One foe, because I can be resembled as one. Haven't you seen a number 1 or an I with a dot on top of it? They're sometimes the same image as a 1 without the dot on top of it. Anyways, this is what I was going to bring up to you, is this. These are coffee trays, I'm quite sure you know. This, I wish, hold on a second. Maybe I can, hold on a second. You're going to be with me? Just stick with me, guys. Stick with me. Well, anyways, this is the way one side would look. No, that's wrong. Wrong. Okay. This is what one side would look like. You see that piece in the back? Okay. Then you have another one lower down. You have one up here and one down here. Okay. And the piece in the back, between the empty space, is where man lives. Okay. These are all planets. Don't you see inside of here? Okay, each one, okay, can have 4 sides and 4 corners. But if it's like this, it still has the corners, this and this here, and this here, and this here. You see the slots? This is where it can go, in all these slots. Now, however this is moved, is where the slots are, is the same thing as basically one of your watches on your hand, basically rotating the entire universe at the same time. It's not that big. I've seen it on TV. It gets into my TV channel. Right in there. All the space. I see millions of miles right on TV. I mean, I saw the camera the other day, and it said, look, there's Pluto. And I go, whoa, Pluto's far from here. I go, hey, Pluto, what's happening? I got a bone. It was so close. I got a dog bone out of my fridge. It was a steak bone. It was actually my steak. The cats end up eating it. but it's irrelevant. When I hold these three up, my friends, okay, they can create anything. Do you see the sides, the way it's showing on the sides? That's your 8. But in between your 8, the center is always the same. Why did I call it the 7th gate? Is it because it is the 7th gate, or it's the 7th ace? We play with 2 decks of cards here. At least with 2 decks of cards, but probably 2 decks of cards. And the reason with 2 decks of cards, we got to play with 3 decks of cards. We got 12 tribes. So we got to play with 3 aces. We got 12 tribes. Well, wait a second. That's 4 by 3, and that's only the interior world of one rectangle. So we actually got to play with 4 decks. But 1 deck and 1 deck and 1 deck are in one shoe, and 1 deck and 1 deck and 1 deck are in the other shoe. And how many decks do I have? See, what I did is 1 deck, okay, is used for both sides. And then the other decks can get mixed with it, but it can never come to this side, the other deck. This deck always has to be in the center. That's why you have overlapping. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do it. Listen, what I'm telling you, if it didn't work out in my head, then I wouldn't tell you this. So if you see it's still not working out with you, then tell me what you're actually missing if you are sort of enticed with the words I have to speak. They are not all my words. When would I come on here on YouTube as a regular citizen talking about things of creation? I don't think I got through school with a better than 34 average. And then I learned numerology and I found out 34 meant number 1. I was enraged. I thought it was fantastic. And not only that, if you invert the numbers of 34 to 43, you get 77. Right away, talking about 77, the name Christ is 77, Jesus is 74. That means the energy, okay? The cross is 74. You see, it's not only that. I know I'm jumping off things and jumping to new things, and I didn't finish with IT. How can I transmit this on to you? If we can eventually learn and see the differences by the similarities and the differences, eventually over time, our natural vision will be able to see it in life as to what should be and what shouldn't be. We would never have to actually ever look into a book. If we would live long enough, we would actually just know most of it if we are into retaining within our mind, knowing of what kind of world we are in. We must force the energies of mainframe. We must override the energies of mainframe. We cannot do it if we don't believe mainframes exist. For all of us, there is a mainframe. Whether you are a Catholic or a Jew, whether you are an atheist, you will always result to what's in your mind under your supervision of your wish, of your thought, and your world. Now, if we can take a survey and get all those tiny little thoughts together, we can unite something to go alongside what liberty means. Okay, what I mean is, if we take 1,000 people and we put out 1,000 questions, and we see that some of the questions get answered 90 or 85 plus, you know that can be part of the liberty that should never be touched. Why do I choose 85? Because that is the level that man elevates to get into this world, being Avatar 5. Because everybody knows if you design the 8 or the 5 or the 2 or the 6 or the 9, they will all be able to turn inside the 8 and you won't see one mark. But when the 1 and the 7 and pending on the 4 come into every number, there is always a distortion. 147 is on the left side of your phone. It is what cannot be constructed by multiplication, but only in creation. And what that means is I can go 3 times 3 gives me my 9. I can go beta 2 times 2, which gives me my 4, which is less than 5, which is my angel, which is my reflection. I can go 1 times 1, which is myself. But I cannot go 4 times 4 because it now inflicts a double digit and a new world. It's the way it is. Don't understand? I'll explain it. So now we're going to go back to IT. Now IT, we're going to move forward. Instead of IT, we're going to go TI, and T and I is the 20th letter and the 9th letter. So we're just going to say 29. 29 happens in February on a leap year every 4 years. This is the 53rd leap year, okay, in which should be because of the beginning of time 0, okay, and then 52 times 4 years is a leap year. Is that not correct? 52, okay. Let me just look at this again. Maybe I'll do it in the next video. Leap year. Okay, leap year. Let me write this down. I'm doing it in the next video. How many leaps in 57, 72, and 2012 years? Okay, that's what we're doing in the next video. We're going to stop it right here, right now. We're going to be taking a break. I need a little bit to drink in the kitchen. Hey, man, before we end it here, dudes, let me get back to you. I want to tell you something. I'm not always that serious. I don't know everything always all the time. I sometimes and frequently make plenty of mistakes, some of which I catch, some of which are caught by those who watch, and some that are lost. Yes, I do watch some of my videos, and I was watching one before I made this one. It was insane. It was fantastic. I loved it. I love me. I love me. I love me. How can I not love me when all I want is for everybody else? That's the way I feel. That's the way I think. But I'm good. I'm good. You know why I'm good? Because I'm not in the center of the camera. I don't want to be in the center of the camera. I want to be a little to the left or a little to the right. You know why? Because if I get a little to one side and the minute they push, I'm going to feel it right away. But if I'm dead center, you won't actually feel the actual sway of the ocean because it's a natural sway and you're sort of lost in between. Like the pie in the middle, which side is going to win? You know, the rope they used to pull in camp to pull you over the line? Well, that's how far over the line sometimes you shouldn't be going. We must understand where the line is, but yet we do not have to question ourselves over and over. We do not have to be like I was when I got out of hospital. How many times do I turn my handle before I come in? I'm getting out of my car and I'm saying, okay, I'm coming to the house. Am I going to shove the key in once? Am I going to turn it right away? And if I turn it, will I push the door or hold the door? Well, I think if the door is going to move for me when I come to my door in my apartment, when I lock it up, but did I lock it up? Hold on. So I leave and I get into my car and I start my car and I get to the front of the office building, not the office building, but the building. Doesn't matter if it's a building, an office building, it's where I live, it's my home. But it's in a big building, a building of some sort, in which there's a front door and a back door, in which I go in both sides. So it must be in for me and out for me on both sides. So that's all right. When you park in the front, that would be the front door for you, but the outdoor for me, as you would be coming in and I would be leaving. Is that not insane? Is it not funny just to play with a few words? You know what I often like to watch? The reason why I'm keeping you on here and I didn't sign off at any point in any time is I wanted to show you the light side, the hearted side, the understanding side. And you see, it's not fair because what other people don't like smoking pot? Well, hold on a second. I don't like brown, okay? When I walk into a house and I see brown, I don't like the people. So therefore, they know I smoke pot. So now they don't like me. It's the same fucking thing. I'm sorry. I have to swear. Are you 13, 14, 15? You're not allowed to hear these words. I'm very sorry I said it. But let me tell you one thing about the word fuck, and don't fuck me up. Okay? P-H-O-C is the word fuck. It's a seal. Okay? What seals do is they use their nose to balance everything off of it. So either it's this way or that way. They never know which way the ball is actually going to go up. But they always seem to catch it on their nose. Okay, which means the fuck of the situation is the balancing act that all man must go through, or else in reality, he is the F-U-C-K, that word. Now, I can tear apart any word not at any time, of course. I'm not always into the same realm. That's why I thought it was very relevant that I come on to do this right now. Anyways, there's two things we didn't finish. From one of them things was Homo sapien, the Illuminati, the UNH, Israel, again, I had something to say. The word mem and numerology came up today with me. The 0666, and why not 4 sixes? Because if you make 4 sixes, you made it to death. That's the 6 that never comes up. That's your destiny 6. It's your death. Do you know why it's your death? Because it's your beginning. It's the beginning of one tail connecting to another tail. Do you follow my drift? This is the way it goes. When you put a 6 over a 6, and a 6 over a 6, and a 6 over a 6, how many 6s you see? 1, right? Well, you just fuck yourself, because it was the 4th one that gets you out of this life. Okay? So don't mix up the 4th 6. But don't get me wrong, because 66-66 or 6666 is a total equation of life, 666, and life and death and life, angel and man, man and angel, from one side of the world, angel and man, man, okay, and whoosh, the heavens, 2, 8, Neptune and Venus. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. But get yourself right. He does it bad, they do it bad, they annoy you. Well, at a certain time, of course, once you're getting annoyed to a certain point, you have to make action. That's what life's all about. That's the freedom God gave us, is to be able to create a scenario to bring constant peace. But we must understand, to the visual point of the entirety of the nations upon nations, of what this peace and freedom, serenity is all about. Do not forget the jargon of all the gods and religions and governments and what has been bestowed on us. If we do not talk for certain ways to our children for the next 100 years, they will change. Let them read the books, but watch out for how we act, because it is our action that put us in this position that we are teaching our kids today, that they will actually be sort of mixed up until another 20 years from now. But do not forget, there is a good percentage that has already been connected, and they have been spreading the word over those who have yet to learn, upon those who are their age and some who are older than them. So the group grows for the freedom and the liberty. It's no longer one age, 1960s, the Beatles, Elvis Presley. This is the new age of freedom, my friends. And another thing I want to tell you is that the peace sign is a chicken leg. It's what the Indians took to make one of their greatest of potions, as they poured the chicken blood all over you. The chicken is us. I cock-a-doodle day on cock-a-doodle night, and who better am I than anybody else? But we keep on cock-a-doodle-doo. Chicago and Texas each have a chicken designed inside their state design. The rooster goes on the roof. Some say that he crows at 5 for all the number of the avatar man. Some say they crows at 6 for the actual number of man. And like I was saying in a recent notion, 6666 is because there's 2 dice. It's 6 and it's 6, but it's 666 and 666. Do you not forget what I've told you before? The 10 days, okay, in which 9 of the days, okay, are all coupled to get you 144 hours. 9 of the days. Okay, let me see what that is. 144 divided by 9 equals, it equals to 16. I guess that's a sweet 16. I didn't know that answer before. It's 16 hours a day is the average. But that's right, because that's the amount of hours. So that's the one spirit of the 6 islands of man. The 3 on this side and the 3 on this side. Don't forget what's in between. It's all those nights of sleep. Without those nights of sleep, you start to see a little screwed up, don't you? Well, because we're being disorientated, because we're being removed from the system. Slowly, our mind is separating from the system. We are ghosts. That's why they show the vampire movies and they show all these movies, zombie movies. You must sleep. God instills into your mind the imprintation of your actual doings and the actual doings of your neighbors, your partners, and all those in the world. that vibrate from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth, from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth, from one end of the earth. Amen. If it wasn't vibrating or shimmering in between us, I want to know what the ozone layer is doing up there. Is it so hard to go through it with a spaceship? How high is that ozone layer to give us the shimmering light within our own vision? How far was that shimmering light? I don't think it was that far at all. I think that shimmering light they were actually talking about was the burning bush of God, somewhere in the horizon, because he burned. He was another light. He was a sun. God in its own is a sun. He has a sun, and he's a sun in his own, as he shines his bright lights upon us. For where was I coming, to where was I going? There were so many things I have said. Let me see. No, we will leave it at that. Lost in some of my ways, but, well, there you go. There you go. Oh, right, we were at the 16 hours. It's 16 hours, the 8 hours, and the 24 hours. Okay? Now, if you want to look at it, the 24 hours is actually 2 times 4, because the 24 hours in a day. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 plus 4 is 6, man and the heaven. And 8 and 6 is 14, which is the one spirit of the 4 angle. The pass. The E-pass. You got an E card? Well, it's going to be an E-pass. Anyways, yeah, nobody should really be able to own those words. Anyways, what else? Yes, now we had the 8, the heaven, which is the 4 and the 4. The 4 and the 4. Oh, wait, there's a mistake here. What went on? Well, he is already in the heaven, and he is man being connected to the Spirit of God, right? But to connect the 2 sides together and all the angles of both heavens, they had to come out with the 2 islands of 66. Yes, I do have something more to say, but I will say it another day, another way, another time. My time is a fine time, is a good time. It's all the time, for all the world, for all the men. We all count, do we not? If you are functional with a heart, you are a man. You have long hair, you are a man. If you look like a woman, you are a man. If you can have babies, you are a man. We are all men. We are all living. Man, the word in its own, means so much more, and I will get to you in the next video with the letters of man.